Hello everyone, my name is Keone. Welcome to Expansion, where I help you awaken your mind and help you recognize new opportunities that will improve your life. Today, I wanted to talk about the stages of experience. So basically what this is it's a 6-point scale of, or not a scale, a 6-point process that we go about life and how we experience it linearly. In our linear experience, I guess. That's a lot of the word experience, I know. Just right off the bat, the first thing to recognize, and it's going to sound a little confusing at first, but it is essential to realize this in order to understand how we experience life, and how knowing how we experience life can influence what we do and how we improve it. So right off the bat, we are immortal beings, spiritual beings, having this we are in a linear perspective right now. So it's just like a fragment. We are immortal, which means that we've lived forever. We will live forever. Time. I made a different video about time that explains that a little bit better. But basically, the idea is that we are just having a linear experience. All we are doing is we're using the tool of time to help us learn things that we were incapable of learning before we came here. Once you realize this, that you are an immortal spiritual being, you realize that first we are spirits and then we exist physically. Now, this kind of does sound a little bit like religious. It can, but it also helps to realize, like, we all acknowledge, at least you can acknowledge that you have a soul, right? Like, you have who you are, and then there's your body. Maybe they're one and the same, but the important thing to know is that your soul existed long before your body did. In this way, we are spiritual beings before we are physical beings. And I'll explain how this helps in a minute. But right off the bat, so in these points, by recognizing that we're a spiritual being first, we have to recognize that we are also individual, complete, whole individuals. There's nothing missing about us. There's no part that was torn out or something like that. Imagine that we're a puzzle, basically, that we came to this linear experience as a whole complete puzzle, and as we grow up, we learn certain things that tell us that these puzzle pieces don't actually fit when they do. So we take these puzzle pieces out and we stick them in our pocket or something. The important thing to realize is that we still have those pieces. All those pieces reside within us. All we have to do is take those pieces, stick them back in where they go, basically. And then we're still a whole complete puzzle again. The reason this pertains to the first stage, I suppose, of experience is that as individuals, as people who are whole, complete, and are aware of our individuality, are aware of ourself and have self-significance, every action that any human being takes, no matter what it is taken under the preconceived notion that it will have a positive impact on their life. Basically, another way of saying that is people do things because they believe it will help them. That's always the base motivation. It can be, I mean, normally people do good things with the intention of it improving, right? People get married because they believe that by doing so, it will improve something about their lives, both of their lives. In that same way, people commit crimes because they rationalize that, say they robbed a bank, somehow they rationalize that by doing this, the payoff, the way that it would influence their life, which would be having tons of money instantly, was more positively influential than the consequence of having to go to jail. So in that way, we understand that every single thing that anyone ever does is done under the preconceived notion that it is a positive influence. Now, it's possible that once you're conscious of doing this, that you don't do things with the intention of it having positive influence on yourself, but you'll notice that if you do it, it will still have a positive influence, because life is a reflection of who you are being. So that's the first stage, is we have, sorry, I have a note here that says when I'm doing, we have positive need. We intend for things to be positive. The second stage afterward is feeling, because we feel as spiritual beings. And this is where it gets kind of confusing, because most of the time most of the time we assume that we need to have something in order to feel something. So say, in order to feel like I'm loved, I need to be in a relationship. I can't be loved until I'm in a relationship, which is a focus. It's a perspective. It's like a lens, almost. You just put that thing in front of your eye, and then you see the world's like, oh, even if people do love you, if there is love in your life, you're still seeing like, oh, I can't perceive anything else, because the only thing I can see is that I won't be loved until I'm in a relationship, basically. So, and that's how it works. That's the perspective. The real thing, though, the real way that it works is that we feel first, because we're spiritual beings before we exist linearly. We have a physical experience. First, we feel. And what this means is that you say, every time that you want something, it's because of how it will make you feel. You don't want money because you want the paper bills or the coins, unless you're like a metal worker, and then you can turn the coins, which I think is technically illegal in the United States. I don't know about other countries, but I don't think you can just like melt down coins to make stuff. I don't know. That's besides the point. But you don't want it for that. The reason you want money is because it will make you feel, or you believe that it will make you feel abundant. It will make you feel like you're controlled. You have control over your life. It will make you feel that you do not need, or that you're not in debt to anything. And in that way, that's what's important to you. The same goes for everything else in your life. You don't want a relationship because you want to date this like smoking hot girl or something like that, or this like totally jacked dude. I don't know. I'm oriented a specific way. Everybody's oriented their own ways, but the point is that you feel first, or you intend to feel first, and then you go to the next stages. The stage after that is your thoughts. So once you have the intent to feel a certain thing, you think about ways that in your linear experience that you can see with your eyes. You see like this opportunity, this opportunity, this opportunity. These are ways that you can achieve that what you want to feel. So you think about, like, say, I want to be in a relationship. That's the feeling I want, is because I want to feel validated. And then your thoughts say, oh, like, okay, well, there's this person, there's this person, there's this person, these are the options. And then the next stage is reflection, which has to do with the law of attraction. The law of attraction is a lot of people treat it like it's a philosophical thing, but in reality it is a law of physics that basically states that life, or your perception of reality, is a reflection of who you are being. Basically, the idea is that you have this feeling that you want to feel. You say, I am happy. I want to feel happy. So you think about ways to be happy, and you put thoughts out there, and you put it into and everybody has an energy field. Thoughts are not, another thing is that thoughts are not incorporeal things, which means that they're not this imaginative, non-existent idea. Thoughts are not necessarily physical, but they're, or tangible, I guess. But we can experience them outside of our realm of physical understanding. This is kind of explained in one of my other videos, which is called the 3 states of being, because we exist in 3 states: physically, mentally, and spiritually. And while we don't, it's like a triangle, we don't necessarily feel thoughts physically, but on the mental and spiritual side we experience thoughts, and we can tell when other people are thinking certain things about us. You can see it in their body language, you can see it in their expression, but even more so you can feel it. When you walk past somebody who's sad, they droop down and you're like, oh, and you're probably staring at the ground, and you can just feel, you walk past them into their vicinity and you're like, whoa, they're just really sad, and you can feel that. And that's because we have an energy field around us that our thoughts play into and our emotions play into, that help us manifest and reflect. Or it's this field is kind of like that lens I was talking about earlier. And when we have thoughts, we influence this field, and everything is reflected back to us, because life is a reflection of who we are being, and that is who we are being. So basically, the point is that when we experience things physically, with the reflection side, that's when we experience things physically. So we say, basically it's like, I want to improve things. Here's the feeling I want that will improve those things. Here's how I'm thinking about how I can do that. And then you take actions, certain things happen in your life, because life is a reflection. And then you have that physical reflection that says, okay, this is how things are. By acknowledging that this is how we have the states of experience, these stages of experience, you realize that everything you do is not under the intention of having, but of feeling. And once we realize that is what it's all about, then we can look at things like the vibrational spectrum. There's something called the emotional vibrational spectrum, or I don't know what the full term of it is called, but it's basically a scale that has the low vibrations or the low emotions, and the high emotions, and they all have vibrational frequency, because all matter vibrates at frequencies, and so does emotions, because spiritual before physical. When we have a feeling, we are tuning into these different places, and then whatever that place is in, that's basically the lens we put on, and that's what's reflected back into our lives. But when you realize that is your true motivation, then you can step back and look at everything in your life. You can look at everything that you've ever wanted, everything that's nearby you. You can look at your job, your relationships, how much money you have, even how much money you're making, I guess. You can look at everything and realize that the reason that you want things is because you want to feel something that they provide. And then once you give yourself permission and you just choose to feel that way, there's meditations that a lot of people have. I'm looking at putting together more meditations in the future. But some people who have good meditations, there's a YouTube channel called Doxy. They have good meditations that help you put yourself or help you feel what you're looking to feel. Another one is Aaron Dowdy. He does a lot of meditations that focus a lot more on like completing your past and manifesting. He does a lot of manifesting and healing your past. But they still, you would still want to heal your past because you want to feel a certain emotion. You would want to feel free from your past. And that would be your motivation. So basically the idea is to recognize that in order of experiences, stages, we want things to improve, positive need, and then we feel it. And then we have thoughts that direct us in the right direction, that lead to actions, and other things happen, which is the reflection of those things. And by recognizing that you're motivated by feeling, you can take that and choose to feel everything you want, and life will just reflect it. The law of attraction. So with that, I hope that helps you become more aware of what you're in control of and where your motivations lie. I hope that you are able to apply this and have a good rest of your day wherever it started. Could be in the morning, could be 9 at night, 1 a.m., I don't know. But with that, I'll see you guys later.